The two most infamous pandemics in our world's history devastated each and every community that they touched. HIV and COVID-19 left us all scrambling for an answer to mystery viruses that popped up seemingly overnight. In the case of HIV, a vaccine never arrived. In the case of COVID, however, vaccines were produced and are currently being distributed to all pockets of the world. This success has been due, in part, to a revolutionary new type of vaccine based on mRNA. According to Antonio Regalado's article in MIT Technical Review in 2021, large studies conducted in December showed that the mRNA vaccine presented 95% of the COVID cases. mRNA's recent success in combating COVID has been a godsend for many, but recent reports suggest that this minuscule molecule is effective in vaccinating against the other aforementioned virus, HIV. With promising results from trials of an HIV vaccine, it appears that mRNA may be the key to tackling the HIV/AIDS epidemic. There is also hope that mRNA vaccines could also protect against other viruses, such as the seasonal flu. To understand why mRNA may be the future of vaccines, we first are going to look at what mRNA is and how it works. Then, I'm going to explain to you how mRNA vaccines have been essential in fighting back against our current viral threat. And finally, I will break down the potential uses of mRNA that mRNA can serve in the future and how it already seems to be on the right track. Before I talk about mRNA vaccines for HIV and the flu, I want to walk you through exactly what an mRNA vaccine is and how it works. In simplest terms, mRNA is a piece of genetic code sent to our body that makes us produce virus proteins. That's why the M in mRNA means messenger. Those proteins trigger an immune response in our body, which teaches our system to fight off the disease that mRNA stimulates. There are many upsides to an mRNA vaccine. RNA is basically biological code or software, said mRNA expert Dr. John P. Cook. You write the code very quickly and pretty much encode in the NRA any protein that we want to have the cells generate. According to Elias Slisko's article in Newsweek on January 22nd, 2021, traditional vaccines use altered or dead viruses, whereas an mRNA vaccine does not, which lowers the risk of getting sick. This is an exciting development because it provides us with a new way to develop vaccines that have the potential to save thousands of lives, Dr. Mark Mulligan, director of NYU Langon's Vaccine Center, said. Now that we have a basic understanding of what an mRNA vaccine is, I'm going to show you how we are using it to fight against COVID. So, take a look at this diagram right here. You can see the process by which mRNA fights the spike COVID cell. Sorry, tongue twister. Immune cells are produced to create the faux spike, which develops antibodies which fight off any real COVID cells that should enter your body down the road. As mentioned before, this approach is incredibly effective in combating disease. Yes, scroll on. Anthony Regalado wrote in the MIT Technology Review in 2021 that the AstraZeneca vaccine, which uses a modified cold virus, was 75% effective, while the mRNA-based shots had 95% efficacy. According to Julie Reese's article from Healthline, even when variants of the coronavirus are encountered, mRNA vaccines can prevent infection and serious illness. Now that I've walked you through the successes of mRNA in fighting the COVID-19 pandemic, I'm going to talk about what we know about the future of mRNA vaccines. So a goal of Moderna, one of the mRNA vaccine developers, is to expand the use of its mRNA-based vaccine to produce broadly neutralizing antibodies that they believe will help limit the spread of HIV worldwide. Recently, Scripps and the International AIDS Vaccine Initiative released results of a trial of an HIV vaccine that was incredibly promising. 97% of patients who received that vaccine were able to produce rare immune cells, key to fighting HIV. The vaccine was, of course, mRNA-based. So now that I've walked you through mRNA and its present and future in vaccines, let's go over the main points. So I've discussed the ways in which mRNA vaccines work differently than others to train the immune system to recognize disease, then develop the antibodies, all without introducing the real virus to the body. Because of this, mRNA vaccines drastically lower the chances of actually allowing a patient to become ill with the virus they are going to be vaccinated against. I also have gone into detail about how exactly mRNA vaccines fight COVID-19 and why they have such high efficacy rates. And lastly, I went over the ways in which researchers believe that mRNA vaccines might be used in the fight against HIV in the future. After explaining all this evidence, I think it's safe to say that mRNA vaccines are one of the most exciting medical advancements in recent history. Think of the fear that comes with being diagnosed with a terminal, exhausting illness. Now, think about something that never lets that happen again. That's mRNA's potential, and I hope you're excited about it as I am about the future.